Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 4th Undergraduate Research Symposium 2021, co-hosted by Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Allied Health Sciences.
This 4th Undergraduate Research Symposium 2021 is held under the theme Unite for the Well-Being of the University Community. Three free paper sessions will be held after the inauguration ceremony, and at the end of the event, the awarding ceremony will happen. I hope this event will be successful as the previous one, and I appreciate everyone's effort and support in making it so.
We wish to mention you that adequate measures have been taken throughout the session to adhere stipulated safety guidelines during this COVID-19 pandemic. First of all, let us all stand up for the national anthem.
Thank you. In our culture, light is considered as the symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and learning. So, to start our today's proceedings, let's keep standing for lighting the oil lamp. May I call upon the following dignitaries to light the oil lamp here. First of all, I cordially invite Professor S. Srishat Gunaraja, the Vice-Chancellor, University of Jaffna, to light the oil lamp. Followed by Dr. R. Surendra Kumaran, the Dean of Faculty of Medicine, University of Jaffna. And Mrs. Devaki John Nanakarunyun, Acting Dean, Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, University of Jaffna.
And Professor S.S.P. Vernakula Surya, Dean, Faculty of Nursing, University of Colombo. Dr. Miyuru Chandradasa, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Medicine, Ragama. And Professor B. Kumarendran, Chairperson, Undergraduate Research Symposium 2021, to light the oil lamp. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. S. Dwaragan, Secretary, Undergraduate Research Symposium 2021.
I kindly invite students representatives from Faculties of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences. Thank you, dignitaries. May this light bring us prosperity and success. You may all take your seats now.
I kindly call upon the dignitaries to be present to the head table. Thank you.
And now I think it's time to move on to our agenda. For that, I kindly invite Professor B. Kumarendran, Chairperson of URS 2021, to the podium to deliver the welcome address at the inaugural ceremony.
Good morning, all of you. The Vice Chancellor, the Dean of Faculty of Medicine, the Dean of Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, our keynote speakers, staff, and my dear students. So I cordially welcome the Vice Chancellor, Professor Sri Satkunaraja, as a chief guest to this undergraduate symposium. And we also welcome the both deans, Dr. R. Surendra Kumaran and Dr. Devi could not attend this session, but the acting Dean of the Faculty of Allied Health is representing her, Mrs. Devaki. And also we welcome the Professor SSP Varnakula Surya, the Dean, Faculty of Nursing.
The Chairman, 4th URS Faculty of Medicine, Professor Kumarendran, and Keynote Speakers, Professor SSP Varnakula Surya, the Dean, Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, University of Colombo, and Keynote Address by this Dr. Niyuru Chandradasa, the Senior Lecturer, Department of Medicine, Ragama, and Secretary Dwarakan, academics and students. The Undergraduate Research Symposium is a remarkable event for the undergraduates particularly, because this university education really want to offer the students to gain knowledge, and as well as they have to create the knowledge. The university education, the purpose is creating the knowledge, not just what is available with knowledge. The research means the search for new things. So that culture and the kind of habit need to be inculcated when they are students. So it's not like if we don't just involve teaching alone, then that is not university. It's like a training institute or technical college. So if it is a university, there has three functions. One is kind of providing this education. Second thing is research, and third, community engagement. Particularly, all these teachers at the faculty or the university should involve research. So then the students, those who are also at the university, will take part of the research that are going on in the universities, and the research that is going on in the university must be relevant to the region, or maybe the national, or sometimes this may be international. So that kind of university only will be considered as a real university. To accomplish this kind of task, it is very important to have a research component at all levels. So it should be at the undergraduate level, then the postgraduate level, and also even this after finishing everything, then while practicing also. So particularly today, this undergraduate research symposium by the Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Arts and Science joined together. So it's a good kind of a gesture that to show that how this team is yearly that is working together when we are delivering the healthcare service. So then same thing that we can also to work together that to deliver some research work also. So this kind of the multidisciplinary culture also very important, and then to work together. So this conference really giving kind of a providing insight for the students to think. You know, this medical field is not like last few years back or maybe even few months back. It's evolving very fast. And also after this pandemic, and then people adapting to new normal and new environment. So the changing, even practice also changing rapidly. And the community need also changing rapidly. So the change of need, we should be able to deliver the services and also good quality services. So if you want to provide a good quality of high services, the research only can give the answer. So we need to have a research culture. That culture should help our community. And particularly, our Sri Lankan universities are state funded. Still, right, in the globe, I don't think that any other country in the world is offering tertiary education free of tuition fees or course fee. So that, but we know in the world nothing is free. So with that thing, we are getting actually support of all of our Sri Lankan taxpayers' money, and then they are expecting as a kind of scholars to come out and then give some solutions to their problems. So if we want to provide that problems, not only for our gain or economical benefit, to provide these solutions, so we need to have a research. So whether we are working in the hospital or in the community or academic institution, irrespective of these things, we should be able to do the research. And that's why particularly all these undergraduate level and particularly the people are obtaining SLQ, Sri Lankan Qualification Framework, level 6 should have a kind of experience, minimum of 8 credits of experience of research. So that research, then after doing the research, it should be disseminated, and then also people should aware this kind of a finding is available, and also others need to use it and adapt it. So that's why this conference and things are organized. So this undergraduate symposium, I hope you will learn the culture, and also you will continue when you are doing your future career, wherever you are, as I indicated earlier. So I hope that you will make use this opportunity, and this opportunity will help you to plan your future research and the work. So all the best wishes to all the presenters today, and I hope that will be a kind of a productive day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for addressing the gathering. May I now invite Mrs. Devaki Jonyana Karunian, Acting Dean, Faculty of Allied Health Science, to address the gathering.
Good morning to you all. Dear Chairperson, Professor Kumarendran, Vice Chancellor, Professor Sri Satgunaraja, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Surendra Kumaran, Honorable Keynote Speakers, distinguished colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the 4th Undergraduate Research Symposium 2022, organized by the Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Allied Sciences, University of Jaffna. I am delighted to see the large gathering of guests and participants here at the Hoover Auditorium. I am especially honored to welcome our distinguished keynote speakers, Professor Varnakula Surya and Miru Chandrarasa, who have traveled far to be with us here today. I would like to extend my special thanks to Professor Varnakula Surya, who has immensely supported our BSc Nursing degree program in the Faculty of Allied Sciences during its middle stages of when we developed the curriculum in 2015. Thank you, sir. We are so much delighted to have your presence today, sir. An undergraduate research symposium like this provides a useful intervention for an undergraduate to improve his or her academic performance on one hand and find the time and the freedom to carry out research on the other. It also provides a platform for an undergraduate student to present his results and defend them in front of a scholarly gathering. Today, a number of student researchers in the field of health sciences are going to present their research findings, and I am sure you all will give your fullest support to them to achieve their goals. I too wholeheartedly wish them for their presentations. I take this opportunity to thank all the academics of Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Allied Sciences, consultants, medical laboratory technicians, nursing officers, and pharmacists of Teaching Hospital Jaffna, who have guided and supported our undergraduate students in their research. I wish the entire committee members all the very best for their relentless hard work to make this event a great success. Last but not at least, I wish all my beloved students on their publications, and may this be a great kick start for their research life. Thank you.
We express our sincere thanks to you, Madam. Next, with great pleasure, I wish to cordially invite Professor S. Sri Shatgunaraja, the Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna, to deliver his address on stage.
Adiyai Naduvumagi Sodiyai Unarumagi Thonriya Porulumagi Pediyagamagi Pennumanumagi Podiyananda Thillai Podunadam Poti Poti. So what I refer now is the cosmic dance. Very famous scholar, Ananda Kumarasamy. He is actually brought up in Britain, but in the Western training, but then he moved to Eastern to explore the scholarship. And then he wrote a book, Dance of Lord Shiva, where he said the cosmic dance take place in every atoms of the entire universe, so that maintain our life. I don't know, this Ananda Kumarasamy's book. So that's him I sung, that saluting that cosmic dance. So here, you know, there was a story my master used to say. There was a polar bear, a baby polar bear. You know, it's in the entire Arctic, that it went and asked the parents, polar bear, I'm a polar bear. Then parents said, oh yes, of course you are polar bear, you like us, no problem. Then the baby polar bear went and asked the grandmother polar bear, I'm a polar bear. Yes, yes, of course, why you are doubting all this? Similarly, he asked his friends, kept on asking, then what happened? Somebody asked. He said, I'm feeling cold. So I am in a cold environment in the university most of the time. Today I feel warm because his undergrads come up with some of the most exciting things. You know what I mean? So without research, you feel cold. As a professor, I know. I am fully absorbed with administration and other things, so I miss that. Like a baby polar bear, I feel cold. Today I feel warm because with the presence of these undergrads, an exciting day ahead, and also the presence of Professor Varnagula Surya with the keynote speech he's going to deliver, and also Sandra Dasa, doctor, another gentleman from Ragama and Colombo. So we have been present here in person. Now we are all lazy to go in the Zoom technology to deliver even lecture from medical to science faculty, not even leaving from the room. I have seen some inauguration programs where lecturers are communicating the freshers from their room, not even from the boardroom. So that amount of complacency are creeping in with the technology as well. Even the children are playing with these machines. So anyway, so I wish to congratulate all the organizers. I know, as I am also chairman of the University Research Committee, I've been serving that committee for a long time, not as a Vice Chancellor. I know the medical faculty is thriving in this last decade because we were out of mainstream of activities for 30 decades. I think Professor Sobaran was shouldering all these responsibilities in a very difficult circumstances. One of the gentlemen here. There are many other people. So now the last decade we have been given the mainstream of connection because we are cut off from the mainstream, and now is the presence of students from all ethnic spheres. So your presence also make this place wonderful. So that make everything set for a very good prospect. So I have seen a lot of professors coming up The Kumarendran, your chairman, I want to congratulate. After being in the last council, we made him as a professor. So it's the first meeting I'm in the open forum. He's the most outstanding gentleman in this country in the research. Particularly, he worked on many people who have been in a multidisciplinary research problems he works. So collaborators coming from UK, Greece, Colombo, and mathematicians, statisticians, medicine people, all over the, although he's a community medicine man. So what I'm saying is, being this person, vice chancellor, steering this institution, I know this institution is devoted for knowledge business. It's actually, I'm very proud, it's a shrine of Jaffna education. It's a knowledge shrine of Jaffna. It's the University of Jaffna. And we have a strong tradition, very entrenched, and very pioneering medical education founded in this place, even in the South Asia. Of course, the missionaries have contributed. So, and also one of the oldest medical association we have. So that speaks that actually, I was talking to some of the gentlemen. So here it's in our culture. So medical culture is there. And also our faculty is 44 years old. And our doctors and pass out alumni are decorating the medical profession all over the world. And for this prospect, as your dean said, this being a knowledge center, our main business is imparting knowledge. And of course, it's a knowledge center, imparting knowledge is a primary job. I know the standard of the academic is 60%, 65% is the teaching environment, teaching engagement, or the teaching learning take place. There's no learning without teaching. There's no teaching without learning. So teaching learning is two sides of one coin. And then, as your dean said, without creation of knowledge, how you are going to impart knowledge? So knowledge expansion take place, whether we like it or not, in all over the discipline. Every discipline, because the technology and more universities, more tertiary education opportunities, and information highway is open now. Even people can get the Harvard degree from home. So these online matters are coming up. So this tertiary education is expanding. And my master used to say, this knowledge expansion take place in an exponential manner. That means knowledge expansion, doubling of knowledge expansion, time is halving. So in that background, we had to start the business early, like a prejudice. In the foreign countries, if you go to Olympics, and they have been recruited very young, because when they see the sign of the guy doing well, like organized countries, they recruit them well. Even mathematics is same now, because the frontier is expanding. So when they see even Russia or even Australia, now in the United States, NASA doing programs, they identify the youngsters very early and keep them tracking on in a way so that they can contribute. Otherwise, it's very difficult in going into the conventional channel. So in that respect, this research symposium going to pay, and we give opportunity for our professors to identify some youngsters. You know, they have the knack for research. They have the knack for academia culture, so that they can develop a relationship and they could start early. Because one of the, when I was in UK in the mathematics, I was in Oxford, then, you know, somebody sitting in the Newton chair. The matter is not over with the Newton. There is somebody sitting in the Newton chair. He's the youngest professor in the Oxford, Simon Donaldson. So Simon Donaldson was garlanded or crowned as a professor on his defense of PhD thesis. Chancellor came and garlanded him, and he said, "You are made professor today in Oxford as a Newton professor." Because they identified. Even while doing research, he said, people don't know. Einstein, Newton is okay. Now there are better Einsteins available in this country. So they identify like that. Westerners are go like that. You know, they rank this. Here we have to make applications and things. So today youngsters, while you are doing the research and making a presentation, and you are given exposure, and also your professors and will see you, and they may engage you. That's the way. Even I was engaged when I was young by my teacher. So that's what I could raise up in my research ladder very quickly, because somebody saw that I had a reflection of doing some mathematics. So they guided me, because when in the Faculty of Sciences, we have an opportunity to do various disciplines. 3 subjects we start, then we go 1 subject. So this is guidance from the mentors. So today, undergrad, not only you present your research, and then your the professionals, the teachers will see you, and you have started your activities when you are young. That's a wonderful opportunity, because I always say the knowledge creation or any creation is belong to young people. In the world, even the sports, in the music, even Einstein, the theory of special relativity originated when he was 16, when he was migrating from Germany to Switzerland to save his life. As a famous Jew, he was chased, he was running for his life. At the time this idea originated, he said. But then he delivered it when he was 28. So this actually this world is for young people. So the creation comes from young people. As a human being, what else you want? We want to be happy. That's what I say. Always say, we want joy, we want ananda. So how do you get it? Is it by eating? Is it by sleeping? Is it by mating? Is it by defending? No, that even dog does. Animal does. So actually, as a human being, I learn. Actually, I was told, I read, actual happiness coming from the knowledge bring happiness. Service bring happiness. So as a people in the medical faculty, now the creation of knowledge is the most exciting, not only assimilating knowledge. Actually, assimilation of knowledge is taking place, because today also we invited the keynote speakers, because it's been told very long time ago, hearing from the wise, you become wise. Because knowledge assimilation starts from here. The Tirukkural is said, Selvathil Chellan, Savichellan. This only organ never get closed. Even the night is safest. Other thing get closed, get tired. I don't see my ears get tired unless you bang with some Bangara music or some terrible rock music. Otherwise, it's always prepared to listen, because the vibrations are there. So today you are going to listen to most distinguished people in this country who have been well associated with our professionals, that they have been invited. I think Kumarendran was in Kelaniya for some time. Probably he would have known Sandra Dasa. And also our Varnakula Surya is well associated with the Faculty of Allied Health Sciences in different aspects, in the review as well as curriculum development, and he is now leading the nursing faculty of the University of Colombo. So this is what we want. We are individuals, like these fingers, and we join together to achieve. Today I see a spectrum of people in the Hoover Auditorium, coming from this beginning the professorial engagement, learning in the faculty. I think just comments, your professorial teaching and learning, and teachers, our retired teachers, those who have been leading this faculty in the difficult time, former deans, and then of course the new generation of administrators, and some allied scholars from other universities. So this is what we want. So today is the most exciting day. I said that I feel very warm. And also, as a feeling machine, human being is a feeling machine. So we want the best feeling. Joy. I know. Whatever I do is look like nothing. Very obvious. The excitement only comes from hearing from somebody very new things. That's what the knowledge is all about. Why these knowledge centers are important? The Lord Krishna says, I read, advancement, little advancement of knowledge may save you from the greatest fear in your life. One booster is help us. At least we walk smart, because that's advancement. We already prepared virology discipline for a long time ago. We know what to do with it. I think Dr. Murugan and Kalamari are here. We are running PCR service in this medical faculty. So we knew how to do this testing. This advancement help us. So that's what generational knowledge. As a mathematician, I tell you, we develop so many theorems without knowing what is the purpose. Now engineers are using, computer scientists are using. But it was developed long time ago. I never knew. When I was learned, sin squared theta plus cos squared theta 1. I don't know, damn care what does it mean. But it's used by other people. My master used to say, the pharmacist develops a lot of medicine. So it's self in the stores. But the pharmacist himself wouldn't like to use it because he knows this has effect, but it's self for a certain purpose. So those who have problem, then of course approach the different professionals, they will prescribe. So those produce this hardly use this. So similarly, in the science discipline, I am coming from basic sciences, from Faculty of Sciences. And then there's engineering. Then there is a Faculty of Technology. We all deliver to the medical people. Instrumentation, technologies, for you to mend the machine, the best machine ever created. And also there is a scenario. I never seen one machine correcting other machine. Only human beings do this. One machine correcting other machine. The same level of hierarchy, intellectual existence. So this is happening because we developed this, our science, organized. So in that sense, and also, I know research is not like what I said today. Research has to do, is being done in solitude, with a lot of sacrifice. When other people are dancing and shopping and doing all kind of pleasurable things, we sit down somewhere in the corner and digging, so that the spring come. And also, without any charge, we publish this in the open source. Others to use it, not like companies, R&Ds, they do research, they find something, they keep it secret. The company secret, so that they can market it. Without any marketing purpose, this gentleman and you in the future, for the human development of human beings, you disseminate openly. And when it gets disseminated, published, that excitement we get. Even when the referees say is accepted, wonderful, the report comes, the excitement we get. I'm not boasting. When I wrote a paper in somewhere time, even the chief editor said, we are looking for this for a long time. No more refereeing, readily accepted. Then my team said in Australia, in the Discovery Grant, they said the first time we got a paper like this without refereeing, readily accepted even the first screening. That's the most glorification. They invited me again there and gave some award, another $5,000. So this is something you don't get from dowry and enjoy this in Jaffna. It is something else. Now Sri Lanka is in that kind of direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a wonderful opportunity. So this today engagement is one of the best engagement. I come to medical faculty for several occasions, for induction ceremonies, annual sessions, so many other functions, opening of new facilities and everything. But today I am so excited and also very happy because this is happening with the youngsters and future, generation of people who are going to shape our society, the country. So when you are rightly, shaped or rightly design, then you deliver. And also I say here, while you are doing a success, again I quote Krishna, he says, choosing the right thing over the pleasurables is a sign of power. Choosing a right thing over the pleasurable is a sign of power. I see a lot of powerful people because there are sort of pleasurable events, right? You have money, you have post, you have positions, so you can, like politicians, you can go around and so many things you can do. But you are prepared to spend your time, valuable time, doing the right thing. It's a sign of power. So you are very powerful people. The real power comes from knowledge, real happiness comes from knowledge, and real happiness comes from service. There is no service better service than the medical services. So actually, even the God, even all the spirituality, the Almighty demand for surrender. But we don't. We say, no, not now. Maybe a little later. But when the surgeon asks the patient to surrender, he immediately surrenders. Yes, he accepts everything. So actually people surrender to the doctors. Complete surrender. In occasion, it's happened very many times in their life. So as a surrendered the patient, you actually give the best. That profession also now in crossroad, because now people are busy, a lot of things happening. So I think this research engagement will bring glory to our university also, because we have medical faculty, have a good research repository, so it goes there, and your record will be disseminated. It go to a well-organized, our VC media even now working on this, so it goes online, and our alumni from all over the world will see it, and our people will see it. It will be in our YouTube channel. So everything is now wonderful. Those days, everything goes in the air. Now everything is well recorded, well delivered. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for patient listening. I also would like to thank all the organizers and the deans and our secretary and our keynote speakers. I am also today feel warm and want to listen to them. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words, especially on the importance of knowledge expansion in this advancing world, and also stressing out the importance of research development. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Minitra J. Prakash, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Allied Health Science, University of Jaffna, to introduce the keynote speaker.
Good morning, all of you. It's a great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Sudat Varanakulasuriya, Dean, Faculty of Nursing, University of Colombo. He is an eminent person with impressive research and development work in the field of medicine and allied health sciences. Professor Varanakulasuriya entered into nursing profession in 1987. During his professional journey, he has received 15 awards, including 3 presidential awards for his research work and 3 professional awards from professional nursing organizations, which are Florence Nightingale Award, Heda Udabimani Award, and Psychiatric Nursing Award. Also, he holds the honor of first professor in nursing. Professor Varanakulasuriya had held various executive board positions in Sri Lanka Nurses Association, Graduate Nurses Foundation, and Organization of Professional Associations. Professor Varanakulasuriya is maintaining a very extensive research profile with more than 700 citations. Prof. Varanakulasuriya is the Sri Lankan lead of international campaign of Nursing now established by International Council of Nurses, ICN. Also, he is the member of Scientific Steering Committee established for changing the Code of Ethics for Nurses by the International Council of Nurses. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, sir, to deliver the keynote address. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Professor Sri Kunaraj, Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna. Professor R. Surendra Kumaran, Dean Faculty of Medicine, University of Jaffna. Mrs. Tabodharan, Dean Faculty of Allied Health Sciences. Guest of Honor, Professor Dr. Palita Abekon, other deans of the faculty, Dr. B. Kumarendran, Chairperson, University Research Symposium 2022, professors and other academic staff members of the University of Jaffna, Registrar, Bursar, and librarian of the University of Jaffna, non-academic staff members, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and privilege for me to be here as one of the keynote speakers at this University Research Symposium, University of Jaffna. I believe this is a very rare opportunity, incident. In my academic life, I have participated very large number of conferences as keynote speaker in different allied health sciences forums. But here, I've been invited to the Faculty of Medicine. It's the first time. Therefore, it is a very significant incident for me. This invitation indicates the many things: the value of multi-professional approach of the University of Jaffna, and also your respect for the other profession. I am inspired by the spirit of collaboration among experts in the medicine and allied health sciences in this symposium. I am representing one of the most meaningful and humanitarian occupation in the world, nursing, which is one of the most respectful and demanding profession right now. I have visited Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, University of Jaffna, sometimes before for curriculum revision. This is the second visit to the University of Jaffna. Professor Sivapalan also there in the audience, I can remember you, sir. Last year, I attended one of the MPhil examination, University of Jaffna, through online platform. This is the second visit. I am pleased to see all in presence today in this University of Jaffna, the student and all the academic staff members. I would like to thank the VC, Deans, and Organizing Committee of the Annual Research Symposium 2022 in the University of Jaffna, especially Dr. Kumarendran, Conference Chair, for inviting me for this significant event. At the outset, I would like to congratulate all the plenary speakers and other presenters in the symposium for their readiness and hard work related to their research during the past years, with these all challenges associated with the corona pandemic. I'm sure all research presenters today, somehow or other, have been able to achieve their targets by completing their research project during the COVID pandemic. Let me focus on the theme of the conference today. I appreciate the conference committee for selecting such a wonderful theme, which has great time significance for this topic currently. Unite for the well-being of the university community. When I see this symposium theme, I was impressed that because you have given emphasis on very important area of human life, that is well-being. We do not much care about well-being in our busy life. Our clients, our students, our academics and non-academic staff, we are all belong to university community. Therefore, we will be able to talk about this important topic, well-being of the university community. With the emergence of corona pandemic, a great emphasis has been placed on the concept of well-being everywhere in the world. Even before COVID pandemic, though, well-being has rising on the organizational agenda. COVID crisis cast a new light on the importance of well-being. In fact, well-being was the top-ranked trend in the Deloitte's 2020 Global Human Capital Trends Study, with 80% of nearly 900 survey respondents identifying well-being as the most important or very important to their organization success. As we all healthcare team members, the term well-being as part and parcel of our ultimate goal, health and well-being for the people. Sometimes researchers define well-being very objectively by measuring attributes related to well-being. Well-being is inseparable concept from health. Not only that, work-life, health, safety, and well-being became inseparable. It has been recognized that a broader understanding of well-being would enable people to make better decisions in their daily life. Good health and well-being can be core enabler of employees' engagement and organizational performance. Since there are many elements of well-being, it can be seen from different perspectives for our understanding. According to researchers, it is a complex, multifaceted construct that has continued to fail researchers to attempt to define and measure. That is a problem in the field of research when you come to define well-being. Therefore, I'm not going to give a typical definition for this term, but we will try to understand by discussing this thing. During my speech, I'm trying to select one aspect of some aspect of well-being that I thought it would be worthwhile for this audience. So I am refraining from taking the complete definition of well-being and keeping it open to see from different perspectives. There's another keynote speaker who is going to talk about the same aspect. The concept of well-being is widely agreed to be related to various concepts, attitudes, and emotions. Well-being is what an egoist, like very selfish person, purely selfish person, always try to promote for himself or herself, and altruist, like people who are caring other people, always try to promote others. It is what knowingly fails to promote for oneself when engaging in self-sacrifice. People who are engaged in their occupation and self-sacrifice, like you are engaged in corona pandemic, caring people in the hospital, those people always forget this well-being aspect of their life. It is what affected for better or for worse when one has good or bad luck. That is also very related to well-being. It is something that we seek to affect when we reward and punish. Sometimes rewards always contribute to well-being, and also if you get punishment, that can affect your well-being. Caring for or having concern for someone involves wanting what is good for that person in order to provide well-being. That is our bounden duty as healthcare workers. We are always focusing well-being of the other people. It is what one tries to promote for another against his or her wishes when acting paternalistically. That means paternalistically means you are caring the person by taking decision without their consent. Sometimes there are situations, doctors or the nurses or any other healthcare professional, they need to take decision on behalf of the patients. Sometimes they don't give the consent. At such situation, we are trying to provide the well-being paternalistically. So people in the health field more concerned about the health-related aspect of well-being. Behavioral scientists more focused on psychological and psychosocial aspect of well-being. Environmentalists also trying to focus on environmental aspect of well-being. Therefore, defining well-being is a very complex and difficult task. It is like group of blind people try to describe the elephant by touching its body parts. Causes, consequences, and correlates of well-being depend on how it defined and measured. And also, it cannot be fully represented by one measure. That is also a challenge for the researchers sometimes. If you go back to the history, there are two dimensions related to well-being. Right. First one is hedonic well-being, that is more focused on frequent pleasant feelings, infrequent unpleasant feelings, and also overall judgment that life is satisfying. People who have very uneducated, sometimes less knowledge regarding all the aspects of the life, sometimes happy with hedonic well-being. But when you come to second level, eudaimoc well-being, that is approach takes as its starting point that there are certain needs or qualities that are essential for the psychological growth and development and fulfillment, especially academic staff members and also educated people. They are expecting this kind of eudaimoc well-being, that means reaching the full potentials like self-actualization according to psychology. These two aspects is on the agenda to discuss regarding well-being, and also we all agree that we need both aspects of well-being. Presence of the positive things that mean, and also absence of negative things, and also overall satisfaction. That is what normal lay people expect, they believe as well-being. But in other side, like eudaimonic well-being, self-acceptance, positive social relationship, personal growth especially. If you are having opportunities to personally grow, you can achieve, you can feel your the feeling of well-being, and also purpose in life. People who are hopeless, purposeless, they don't have much feeling of that kind of well-being. Environmental mastery, you need to have broader understanding about the environment, whatever the environment you are living, and also autonomy. We are expecting autonomy with regards to our education, and also power, and all the position you are in, and also personal expressions. All this aspect of eudaimonic well-being is one of the area in focus. This, when you compare these two things, this hedonic well-being is more subjective, and there is personal perspective, personal perception. But hedonic well-being, it is also related to psychological aspect of psychology. Sometimes some people call it psychological well-being. Right. As I mentioned, there are two aspects of well-being, two approaches. We can focus well-being in two ways. That when hedonia side, that means good present feeling, happiness all the time, relaxation, comfort, pleasure, and fun. Those are the things you need to have, that kind of well-being. But other side, you need to have personal growth, express your self-actualization, reach the most potential of your life. That is how we can describe this thing. But when you come to elements of well-being, there are many elements. Physical elements, your energy, your health, and also social side, love and connections. You need to have some kind of affiliation, connection, belongingness, and also environmental side, good for the earth, good for you. That means whatever the things good for the health, good for us. Good for earth, good for, that means environmental side of the well-being. Emotional resilience, those who are having low-level resilience, that means bouncing back to the normal after a stressful, sad situation. There is emotional side of the well-being. And also career, whatever the career you are attached or involved in, that is also contribute to well-being, because this is something, if you don't have that career-related feeling of well-being, you cannot have. Creative, authentic expressions, that Vice Chancellor also mentioned that the research is one of the area we are engaged in all the time in the university sector, but creating new things, creating new knowledge always contribute to that area. And also financial, we cannot forget financial resources and financial management. If you don't have sufficient financial support for whatever the things you are doing, that you cannot gain that feeling of well-being. Community, you live and what you give. This is the community you have focused on your theme also. University community, that means whatever the things wherever the place you are living, whatever the things you have, and also what are the things you are giving, interaction, all these things related to your community, that means there should be a very good conducive community for you to have feeling of correct well-being. And also spiritual side of the well-being, sense of higher purposes, that means your religion and also your beliefs and attitude towards your religious side of the life. There are some pillars. Some scientists say that there are pillars for wellness. The wellness is closely correlated or associated with well-being. Sometimes we call wellness is well-being, physical, social, emotional, occupational, financial, spiritual, and that new things added, intellectual, that is related to us, and also environment. Those are the elements and pillars. Now, as I mentioned, there are some new addition to well-being. You know that increasingly concept of well-being being modified day by day, because there are new things added to the well-being. New dimension related to well-being are included in well-being related research even. For an example, digital well-being. What is digital well-being? Capacity to look after personal health, safety, relations, work-life balance in digital settings. We are in the digital setting all the time. Today we have restricted to digital mode and also online things, that we are always dealing with different devices and technology. Therefore, we need to think about digital well-being too, because otherwise that can affect our well-being. To use digital tools in pursuit of personal goals, health and fitness, and also to participate in social and community activities. You are engaged in social communication, interaction with the digital devices, and also act safely and responsibly in digital environment, and also negotiate and resolve conflict and manage digital workload, overload and distractions. Sometimes there are different challenges when you are involved in digital interaction. To act with concern for the human and natural environment when using digital tools. That is also need to be considered when you talk about digital well-being. Now, an understanding of the benefits and risks of digital participation in relation to health and well-being outcome, that is also very important aspect, as Abby 2020 mentioned, that those who are focusing on the digital well-being, you need to think these areas. This is subject to individual experience, that is more related to the hedonic well-being side of optimal balance between benefits and drawbacks obtained from mobile connectivity. Some people say like this. This experimental state is comprised of affective and cognitive appraisal. We are evaluating the things using our cognition and also feelings of that integration of digital connectivity into ordinary life. People achieve digital well-being when experiencing maximal control, pleasure, and functional support, together with minimal loss of control and functional impairment. That is what we have to think about when you are involved with digital world, digital mode, or digital devices. We have to have maximum control. Otherwise, sometimes children, teenagers, they can get addicted to digital devices, and also adult people also sometimes get affected because when they are using a lot of their time with digital things. When you are talking about university community, again, we come to the theme aspect of the conference. Some, but not all university students experience a range of stresses that impact learning, such as there are many examples: academic underpreparedness, financial strain, social problems, and so on, so forth. The university environment plays a significant role in supporting or undermining student well-being. Therefore, it is our role as academic and also the teachers to focus on student well-being. What are the things related to physical well-being? Physical aspect is very important. I think Dr. Kumarendra mentioned that. Psychological aspect will be covered by another keynote speaker, but I will touch upon that area, but focus on physical well-being. It is very clear that we need to have nutrition, food, and all the fitness exercises, all the things we know, basically we all know, relaxation, stress management. Then we can make positive changes and get motivated, then health and well-being achieved. But if you don't focus on all the aspect of this physical well-being, you cannot achieve this physical well-being. That means you are related to. Now we are moving into digital well-being, as I mentioned, supporting digital well-being of staff and student and educational institution. That is our university. We are focusing on well-being today. Then there are many things we have to consider from its start. Inclusive and responsive services should be there in the university. Inclusive and accessible system should be there for the student. Safe environment, duty of care to staff and student both from the administration. Ethical and legal responsibilities should be considered. Understand impact of digital on well-being. That is the area, because sometimes digital, as earlier mentioned, there are negative impacts related to digital usage, and also appreciates guidance and support. Appropriate guidance and support should be there to support the people to achieve the digital well-being. There are many positive and negatives. We cannot discard or we cannot reject digital mode and digital devices. There are very positive things, you know the positive things, but negative aspect of the scenario. There are many positive and negative things related to digital well-being. The thing is, using digital devices all the time, we have to balance the usage, and we have to have a control on this thing. Otherwise, even adult people, this can affect our well-being. I have selected few things from the large number of impact. I'm not going to talk about the negative impacts, but positive impact, but negative. Lack of digital well-being because of you are involving digital things all the time during the day and night sometimes. Screen-related issues. You know that screen time is another challenge for us, especially young generation. They spend a lot of time with the screen, different screen devices. Then there are many health-related issues arise with screen time. There are new suggestions to have green time also, because you are spending a lot of time in the screen. From time to time, you have to focus on green time, then you can facilitate your vision and your support your vision-related problems. There are many guidelines, occupational guidelines for people to go for green time. That means if you are working on the screen at least 20 minutes, then you can look at the green area, spend time on green. Green means green environment. And also, musculoskeletal problems. I have a lot of research on this area, musculoskeletal problem, because we have conducted many research on different occupational groups related to their occupational health problem. Major problem was musculoskeletal problems, including hand pain, back pain, the wrist pain, knee pain, and all the things. Finally, there are many associate factors, mainly our posture, gesture, and other way we are handling the devices. Therefore, we cannot blame the devices. There are other areas we have to look at when you are dealing with digital or during the working hours. Not only the digital mode, sometimes other areas like other devices, other chair, the table, or any other instrument you are using. If you don't properly use this kind of instrument, there can be musculoskeletal problems. Problems associated with psychological well-being. Simple example, we are very busy with our research and project or whatever, then you are more focused on your completion of your tasks, then your hand, neck, and also back and every aspect of your body can be affected. Those are awkward postures. Sometimes in the healthcare sectors, you are involved in different back bend positions for a longer period, conducting these surgeries. There are situations that affect our body parts. As I mentioned, green time and screen time, the difference need to be realized by the young generation especially, because there are health impact on using longer screen time, and all the alternative for this challenge is to use the green time from time to time. There's a green concept nowadays, even green universities are there, but you have, within the available premises, if you have green area, green garden or whatever, that would help you to avoid this screen time related health issues. As I mentioned, digital well-being, though it is there is there are many health impact, but when you are looking at different perspective, you can control it. Perspective, individual, organizational, community, and national and global level. Those are different perspective. Aspect, emotional, social, physical, and mental aspect, and also context. You cannot exactly say that using this kind of devices, you are getting health issues. No. You have to analyze these problems from different perspectives. Then only you can come to a conclusion the effect of using the digital devices. Otherwise, you cannot even conduct research and say that there is a strong association or correlation or whatever the things, because there are so many aspects and also so many determinants for final health outcomes. Natural environment and well-being also, as I mentioned, green concept came like this. Several theories within the evolutionary and environmental psychology proposed that engagement with natural environment is directly beneficial for human health and well-being. Now, that is why I mentioned that green concept important. Now you know that green universities, they are everywhere green, even inside of the university. That is new approach and new perspective. And also in the universities, sometimes we don't think that effect of this open spaces in our faculties or universities. We try to compartmentalize by putting barriers and also the separations, and we are not maintaining full open space. But example, here you see that there is also affect our well-being. You need to have some open space, halfway okay, halfway separation or the compartments, and also green things are there around us. Then you can, from time to time, you can look at this. Not only that, healthy workplace, always open space. New concept is wherever you are working, there should be some kind of open spaces for you. But earlier, traditional way, we are putting people in different rooms and compartments that can affect our health. There are new research. The carbon dioxide concentration is very high when you are having this kind of compartmentalized spaces, especially for academic staff. The students are visiting the academic staff and as group-wise sometimes. Then within that small room, you are increasing the carbon dioxide level. That inspiration of this thing and inhaling the more carbon dioxide, you know that there are some health effects. But if you are thinking about your well-being, all the aspects need to be taken into consideration. Now new concepts are there, smart classroom. I don't know, very expensive, but most of the well-developed countries they are using, and also user-friendly, student-friendly environment, and also the ergonomically prepared, no back pain and all the things, and everything is there. But we have to think about whether we are going to have that kind of new technology and these things. As mentioned earlier, this is the major challenge when you are using the computer all the time, that lead into musculoskeletal problems in different aspects. Therefore, even when you are buying a chair or table or whatever the furniture, you need to check with the engineers or whoever the people who are purchasing this thing related to their ergonomical preparation. Ergonomically prepared working environment always facilitate health and well-being of the people. I think you can see this, you can understand how these devices have been placed and also supportive and facilitate for people. And also, as we are all the time in the computer, but small stretches can help us to overcome this unnecessary musculoskeletal stresses and problems by using this kind of small stretches from time to time. 8 to 10 seconds, you have to stretch like this. There are many interesting way of overcoming. overcome the unnecessary stresses to our body parts. Right. There are some research going on to understand the student perspective of well-being. Now, our perspective is very clear. They say, I must say that contributed to my well-being is that the lecturers are good and the lecturers are very well prepared when coming to lecture us. That means your preparation also contribute to well-being of the student. Right. Now, mental well-being of the university student have 4 areas to be covered. The student feel belongingness and also very good relationship, autonomy, feeling and competence. All things put together, you get autonomous motivation. Then only you can achieve the mental well-being. That means students should have that kind of overall covering up all the aspect of autonomous motivation. Then only you are correctly achieving well-being. This Times and et al. Have studied group of students. They have mentioned that autonomy, that means the freedom to make your own decisions, that more freedom to the student. Self-acceptance, that means satisfaction or happiness with self. They should have self-motivation and also that self-esteem. This includes awareness of one's strengths and weaknesses, and also it results in an individual feeling that they are unique worth. That feeling should come to the student. Then also mastery, that means ability to manage everyday situations. Positive relationship with the family, friends and others, even with the teachers, sense of purpose or meaning of in life. There are different occupations that they have some kind of meaningful engagement. There are different occupations. I will give some example, medicine and nursing especially. You are caring the people, you are engaged with the people's health issues, then you feel some meaning to your job. Especially in the student in the allied health field and also medical field, they may have that feeling at the beginning because they engage in patient care and treatment from the beginning of their study program. And also personal growth, facing challenges that are manageable and lead to developing new skills or becoming a better person. Right. Student well-being in general should be engaged in curriculum, should be there. That means participation, like transformative education, that means active participation of the student. And also supporting environment should be there with all the aspect. Universities provide all the things. Community awareness regarding this well-being aspect, and also access services, sometimes counseling services, so any other services you need to address your psychological requirement, mental health knowledge and skills. That is also very important for student too. Mental health knowledge, that is very important area that medical and allied health people all the time they are getting that some modules they are covering related to this area. Then university academics have some lecturers in student well-being. They have role to play with regard to patients, student. From the student perspective, benevolence, lecturers with caring attitude who listen and attending their and engage with the student, supporting their well-being. Lecturers' competence, they have mentioned that is also contribute to student well-being. Lecturers' availability, that is another aspect according to the research. Interaction, person interaction with lecturers supported student well-being. Not only that, lecturers' attitude towards their own teaching work, lecturers who are enthusiastic and also passionate about their own work support student well-being. Right. Well-being services have been established in many universities. In local universities also there are some services. You speak to someone, the approach, and more also well-being walk-in service, you can go to the place and get support. Well-being outreach calls, that's another system. Disability support and help in common student concerns. All these things are student services. If you don't have established something like that, we can think of in order to support well-being of the student. Not only that, self-help. Suddenly you can join online and get the mental health support, that kind of situation. Standing together, university-wide programs, improving the well-being through tackling unacceptable behavior of the and supporting the student. Not only that, suicide prevention programs in universities. Compassionate, diverse, and inclusive community, always developing culture that support all to talk openly, because if you have any stress or problem, you should have opportunity to talk openly that during that requirement period. Blooms have given a well-being model that can be fit into university system. This academic, as earlier mentioned, physical, social, and spiritual and psycho and emotional aspect of academic work, and also the digital environment there in the root level, and also community and society, universities, there are different societies, communities in the university system. Personal factors also contribute to this thing. Significant others and peers, significant others, loved one, their contribution also required, and also family and relatives. This Bloom's has mentioned, according to his model, resilience, the bouncing back, our capacity to adapt, change, and respond to life's situation that enable us to recover from setbacks and to grow and to develop our capabilities. And also thriving, the significance we experience in our lives, our values, core beliefs, and sense of life purpose, and our experience of deep social connections, and also authenticity that is related to us, sometimes academic staff, even our sense of identity, which include the belief we hold about who we are and human beings, our self-image, our self-worth, and our self-respect and dignity. Even a student, if they don't have feeling of self-worth and dignity, then that can affect our well-being, their well-being. Happiness, the emotional dynamics and the subjective quality of life related to hedonic well-being. Happiness is linked with enhanced healthy creativity, decision-making, and adversity responses. Now we are focusing on healthy workplace, because all the universities and also other organizations during this pandemic situation, they have focused on well-being, and also you need to focus on healthy workplace. Healthy workplace is a place where everyone works together to achieve an agreed vision for health and well-being of the workers and surrounding community. All the people include. Then it provides all members of the workforce physical, psychological, social, organizational conditions that protect and promote health and safety. It enables managers and workers to increase control over their own health and also improve it and become more energetic and positive and contented. That is WHO talking about. WHO mentioned about this healthy workplace. Envision workplace and free of regional recognized hazard and health promoting and sustaining policies, programs, and practices should be there to maintain healthy workplace. Provide employees with ready to access to effective programs and services. You should provide knowledge, skills, training, and workshop or whatever regarding their health, work-related health. Right. Whatever the program we organize in a university or a place in the working environment, it should be comprehensive, incorporating range of individual and organization interventions. that should be participatory and empowering. Workers at all levels must be involved. That means equally, each and every person should get that opportunity, determine needs and as well as solutions. Multi-sectoral and multidisciplinary cooperation to address the multiple determinants of health and also wide range of sectors and professionals must be involved. Social justice should be there. All members of the workplace must be included in the program without regard of rank, gender, or ethnic group. Otherwise, some people get the training, but other group has no training. That means there is not a fair approach. Finally, there should be sustainability. Changes must be incorporated into the workplace culture and management practices in order to sustain over time. If you are focusing well-being of the university community, that should be, whatever the intervention or plan should be sustainable. Then we are coming to sustainable well-being. There are interesting elements of sustainable well-being, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that addressing well-being in a holistic way, not like individual attempts. Adjusting to planetary boundaries. Planetary boundaries mean we always think about without wasting whatever the environmental or other resources for our benefit, our well-being, without keeping the future generation. That is one area. And also empowering individuals and communities by giving enough training, education, knowledge, moving to regenerative and collaborative economy. Building competencies of complex world, that is also requirement to maintain sustained well-being, and developing inclusive adaptive governance, management. That is also one of the area when you are keeping sustainable well-being. That means maintaining the well-being throughout. When improving that sustainable well-being can be achieved, when improving the individual well-being is connected with improving the well-being of other members of the society and the natural environment, then only you can achieve sustainable well-being. Finally, as healthcare workers, we always focus on health and well-being. The two terms go together. The health and well-being is something that is our responsibility as healthcare workers. There is a framework developed to support health and well-being of any profession, any occupation, or any group of people. Protect health, prioritize comfort wherever you work. Harmony with nature. There should be nature-friendly intervention activities, facilitate healthy behavior. In order to facilitate healthy behavior, there should be some kind of planned interventions in the program, some exercise program or a nutritional program, whatever. Create social values towards health and well-being, take climate actions. We are not going to go against the climate or nature. This is the model that has been given by Community Health Centre, London, 2018, Health and Well-being. Grounded in community development approach and also based on determinants of health. Whatever the health and well-being approaches should be focused on determinants of health in the institution or the university or any organization. Community governed and also interprofessional, as Vice Chancellor mentioned. All the categories, all the occupations should, all the staff categories should involved in accountable and efficient. Somebody should be accountable to monitoring, evaluating, continuing, and observing. Population needs based. Student population, staff, and other population. You have to target all these people together. Accessible to all people. There shouldn't be any oppressions, issues, always anti-oppressions and culture is safe. Intervention should be there. This is what they have finally explained with all the aspect of world, global, green Global Green Global Green Council Health and Wellbeing Framework has been shared with all over the world to develop well-being of the people in recent time, because everywhere in the world focus is well-being of the world, well-being of the people. So as previous slide I mentioned, the detailed slide is this, that all the aspects have been mentioned here in detail. Right, when you come to this end of focus of well-being as a university community, you can see this picture, graph. We cannot just achieve well-being, we have to focus on many aspects. There should be regulatory environment, that means controlling everything. Organization focus stress management strategies should be there. Other side, person focused stress management strategies should be there. And also, as workers, students, and staff members, work satisfaction, life satisfaction should be there, and work-life balance should be maintained somehow or other. There should be some kind of activities or a program to make them aware, understand, and give them knowledge how to manage their life. Our schedules committing, that means you have to allocate time and hours, and also social support and relationship, identify the status and roles for each and every person. Workload and workplace issues are there that can affect the individual resources, and also skill utilization and variety, because there are people, skilled people, you need to utilize those skills. Otherwise, these people also have some stresses and problems. Participation and control. There should be participation from each and every person. There should be opportunities for people to participate. Managerial style also can affect other people's health and well-being. If your boss is very strong person, your health and well-being, your well-being can be affected. Managerial competence also one part. If you are a poor manager, that can affect your well-being sometimes. So all the things, not only that, if you are unsecure, that means insecure, your job insecurity is there, especially when you come to academic life. People have insecure job until they get permanent or get in the final postgraduate. So during that period, people experience some kind of well-being issues because they are under stress. Anyway, if you achieve everything, you are finally getting positive well-being. Otherwise, definitely you can lead to negative well-being. What will happen? Negative well-being all the time, leading to organizational stress and outcome. Finally, that losses are there because you are not properly producing, you are not properly contributing to the university. Right. The well-being provides strong test of extent to which policies are coming together and reduce the inequalities and promote sustainable development. High level of well-being is a future of strong and vibrant communities like your university community, that including university communities. Organizations that looking to be built well-being in their community should consider the action, policies, and mandates at 3 levels. 3 levels mean individual, team, and organization levels. Promoting well-being in the university community can help prevent stresses and create positive working environment where students and staff and whole university can thrive. The concept of well-being of university community is very powerful. They have intellectual capacities, the skills, the authority, and the credibility for this purpose. Well-being is a collective endeavor, a whole university approach. That is why you have selected this theme for this conference. Therefore, I would like to congratulate conference chair and his hard-working team for this endeavor, and I'm sure you will get you all get united and bring the optimum well-being to the community of university community for your reputed university. With you all on board, I am confident we can and will change the way we think about well-being in this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable keynote address, especially explaining the theme of our 4th Undergraduate Research Symposium 2021. I kindly request you to receive the memento as our token of gratitude. To give away the memento, I kindly invite Professor S. Sri Satgunaraja, Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna, to the stage. Thank you, sir. Next on our agenda, I wish to call upon Mrs. T. Satish, Lecturer, Faculty of Medicine, to introduce the keynote speaker.
Good morning to you all. It's a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Muru Chandradasa. Dr. Muru Chandradasa is a consultant child and adolescent psychiatrist attached to the Colombo North Teaching Hospital, Ragama, and senior lecturer affiliated with the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. He previously worked as a senior lecturer at Monash University, Australia. He is a member of Royal College of Psychiatrists in the United Kingdom and has obtained advanced training in child and adolescent psychiatry in Melbourne, Australia. As a postgraduate trainee, Dr. Chandradasa won MD Part 1 and Part 2 gold medals for psychiatry from the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo. During the last 5 years, Dr. Chandradasa has published more than 60 peer-reviewed full-paper journal articles and presented to the prestigious Dr. S.C. Paul Oration at the 133rd Anniversary Academic Congress of the Sri Lanka Medical Association. He is the current secretary of the Sri Lanka College of Child and Adolescent Psychiatrists and a director at Santi Markam, a non-governmental organization dedicated to the emotional well-being of children and victims of violence in Sri Lanka. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, sir, to deliver the keynote address.
Dear Vice Chancellor, sir, dear Deans of Medicine, Madam Dean Elite Health, Dean of Nursing Colombo, Chairperson Professor Kumarendran, thank you very much for inviting me, Heads of Department, dear professors and senior lecturers, and dear students. It gives me indeed privilege to be here in Jaffna physically for this very important research symposium. So just imagine in 10 years' time, you are the cardiologist. Okay, just imagine yourself in 10 years' time, you are the cardiologist at the teaching hospital Jaffna. A lady, a mother of two, travels from Kilinochchi just to see you in your clinic. And when she comes, you have previously, in the last month visit, you have asked her to take a certain tablet 3 times a day and come back and see you in a month's time. But because she's a busy person and she has poor concentration, stressed with work of her kids and her work commitments, she has only taken the tablet once daily, and when she comes back, her blood pressure is high. So you as a cardiologist, your ability to measure blood pressure is optimal. Your ability to diagnose cardiac conditions is at the full potential. But as a cardiologist, for your ability to empathize with this patient who have forgotten your advice, that is the key of becoming a doctor that promotes well-being. So I have 3 friends from Jaffna. One I met at the school hostel, one I met at the medical faculty, and one I met as my fellow intern doctor. All of them, what I saw is they're very intelligent, capable, but I felt they are broken inside. So I thought why that is, but when I became a child psychiatrist, I understood that why they are broken inside, because they don't feel valued in this country. But if you wait for others to value you, that value may take time to arrive, but if you can value yourself within you, that value will come very quickly. So to appreciate your own value, self-worth, what you have to do is what we call a character strength, described by Peterson, is appreciation of beauty. So when I say beauty, not the lovely saris or the lovely ladies, when I say appreciation of beauty, it's the beauty of intellect. Appreciating small things like a smile of a colleague, or the smell of a flower, or maybe seeing someone sharing a joke, that appreciation of intellectual beauty is very important. So sometimes, because you are very smart, because you have high cognitive intelligence, that is why you are here as medical students, sometimes we ignore your emotional well-being. So today I'm going to speak about the current status of psychological well-being in medical students in Sri Lanka, important factors that impact seeking mental health support in medical students, a pragmatic model improving mental health access for medical undergraduates, and youth mental health promotion to prevent adult psychological distress. I declare that there are no conflicts of interest. First, the current status of psychological well-being in medical students in Sri Lanka. So we conducted a study of about 1,300 medical students in Sri Lanka, and this study is published last year. We assessed the psychological well-being of Sri Lankan medical students. We invited several times for University of Jaffna to participate, but the medical faculty Jaffna did not participate, but still there were about 1,300 medical students from all around the country. So we assess the substance use, psychological well-being, and we use well-validated psychometric tools such as the General Health Questionnaire. So what we found was that there is a higher prevalence of diagnosed mental health conditions, and that the percentages are high compared to other university students as well as other occupational groups. So we found that the General Health Questionnaire is a very valuable tool which can assess whether you have a mental health condition. So 62% of the medical students met the criteria of having a significant psychological distress. So then we also use the Oldenburg burnout inventory. So sometimes we think, okay, we as doctors, we have kids, we have clinics, we have thousands of patients to see. Usually you don't have those commitments, but you are still stressed because of many reasons. and the burnout of medical students, and 79% were found to have burnout. And about 5% of students were using certain substances, psychoactive substances. So what are the reasons that medical students are stressed? So one of the biggest reasons is that academic work. This is mainly related to because every year for the medical curriculum, we add things, but we don't remove anything. Sometimes I wonder, like for example, in 5 years' time when you are a doctor, the knowledge about Krebs cycle, yes, it's very important. It is the foundation of ATP and the energy generalization. But is it more important to learn how to comfort yourself when you are down and when you have failed? Like for example, I'm sure there's no lecture in medical faculty of Jaffna about dealing with failure and lack of self-esteem. If there is, I apologize. So there must be several lectures. So are we giving the correct coping skills for medical students? So academic work is a huge stress. Then financial issues, 31% stated that that is a major stressor, and boarding and housing places as well as relationships. So a psychologist called Erik Erikson said, the decade of 20 to 30 is the decade for intimacy. So you must be seeing on Facebook and Instagram, your friends are getting married, wearing beautiful saris, having kids, while you are studying in the medical faculty. So these difficulties that you face, feeling inadequate sometimes, not being appreciated by others, easily lead to relationship conflicts and sometimes aggression and violence between each other. So when it comes to sources of stress, female medical students stated that academic work is significantly more stressor for them compared to male medical students. And while the male medical students said financial issues are the biggest stressor for them. And obviously, substance use was more seen in male medical students compared to female medical students. About a diagnosed mental health condition diagnosed by a psychiatrist, 8% of the medical students we assess out of 1,300, 7% had a diagnosed mental health condition. I'm sure the number is far above than that, but only that amount has gone to a psychiatrist and achieved a diagnosis. So before the medical school, so 3.1% only were diagnosed of a mental health condition. So it seems like as medical faculty teachers, we have contributed to a 5% increase of mental health conditions in youth. How about getting help when you are stressed and not feeling happy? So in the medical school, every medical school has a department of psychiatry. I'm a child psychiatrist and I work in the department of psychiatry. And 7.3% has gone and met a mental health professional to seek professional help. But it was better before you came to the medical faculty. So 9.3% sought professional mental health opinion before coming to the medical faculty. So while after you entered the medical career, actually your help-seeking behavior reduced. How sad is that? So we hope when you are medical students, you are more forthcoming and you will seek professional opinion more, but the opposite happened. So only a small proportion are recognizing their mental health difficulties. So a lot of people think, I will not get stressed. I will not be depressed. But you know, 1 out of 5 people, young people, develop depression in their lifetime. So it's very common, more than any of the positive numbers for COVID. Further, understanding is required and re-evaluation demands of the curriculum. Whether we are adding things to the curriculum, are we removing things? Regularly identifying and providing practical support, which I will talk in a later slide. The second important part is what medical students think about psychiatry and mental health. So we did a study of more than 1,000 medical students, a separate study, about validating a tool that assesses the attitudes towards psychiatry. So this tool is called ATP30 because it has 30 items. So what we found was 743 final year medical students participated from 9 medical faculties, and when we are assessing, surprisingly, even as a child psychiatrist, I was surprised that 92% of the medical students were very much positive about psychiatry, because as we usually know, out of the many departments, the one that is not so popular is psychiatry. Only 6% said they have a negative outlook about psychiatry, and 2 were quite political, like the Sri Lankan politicians were not giving any opinion, neutral. And out of the factors that decided what made the medical students positive about psychiatry, there were 6 factors. In the bottom, evidence-based discipline. So many didn't consider psychiatry to be an evidence-based discipline. That is why I'm highlighting my studies here. Then whether you are going to be a psychiatrist in the future, career choice, psychiatric training, efficacy of treatment, psychiatric patients and illness, and most importantly, the most important thing that made students have an opinion or attitude about mental health and psychiatry was the image of the psychiatrist. So that is why I always try to be properly dressed and kind to students, so they will have a better outlook about psychiatry. And I plead and I request the other academic staff also to be respectful of other specialties. For example, the other keynote speaker said that we have to be respectful of the nursing students, nursing graduates, nursing professors. Likewise, to be respectful of other specialties, because if you ridicule another specialty in front of the students, they may not want to go and get help from those specialists. Thirdly, I would like to speak about how to improve mental health access to university students. So this paper is about how we can improve the mental health access of university students in a country like Sri Lanka, where there are multi-religious university students. For example, in Jaffna, I was told by a consultant pediatrician that there are a lot of Sinhalese as well as Muslim students, apart from students who speak Tamil. So in an environment like that, what is very important is that there should be full-time mental health advisors who are clinically supervised by a consultant adult general psychiatrist. And this will ensure that there is proper coordination and it will provide structural follow-up. For example, when an abused child, for example, when a little child is abused by maybe the stepfather or a man in the school van, when they are brought, the JMO, the consultant JMO sees the child for medical legal purposes. Then the consultant pediatrician sees for the physical well-being and the overall management. Then I, as the child psychiatrist, sees the child. So frequently, the JMO and the pediatrician ask me, we are sharing work, isn't it? But it's not, because for them, there's one assessment. For me, that abused child, I have to see that child for 10, 15 years. So mental health care takes a lot of laborious work and it takes years. So follow-up is very important, especially when medical students have depression, anxiety, they have to be assessed and followed up. So what we propose is that there's a mental health advisor who can be a counselor, who can be a speech and language pathologist, who can be an occupational therapist, who can be a nurse, supervised by a consultant general adult psychiatrist and the mental health advisor to follow up several students as case managers. So for example, case management is you give individual attention to that student and help that student overcome the mental health barriers to complete their degrees and become a happy doctor. So another aspect of looking after mental health in medical students is frequent screening. So we can't expect a pediatrician, a public health expert to diagnose depression like a psychiatrist. What can be used frequently is that freely available psychometric tools to diagnose anxiety and depression. For example, the university can employ a technique where every 6 months, students have to fill depression, anxiety, stress scale 21. Takes only 10 minutes. Very convenient. And it will give a certain score. The scale can't diagnose depression. But if the score is high, then the academic staff member or the mental health advisor can say, please go and meet the psychiatrist, so you will have a proper assessment. If you are feeling low, sad, not being able to concentrate on lectures, not being punctual, take 10 minutes. You can yourself download from the internet Center for Epidemiological Studies Depression 20 scales, 10 minutes. If the score is high, don't self-diagnose with depression, go and meet a mental health professional. If you don't do that, you will start with depression. If you don't treat that, what will happen is, over the next few months, more complications are added up. Can't concentrate, gets angry with your boyfriend, girlfriend, peers, feel low, feels like, why the hell did I pick medicine? I should have just become a grocery shop owner back in my village. Why did I come here? So you loathe yourself, you lack self-esteem. So recognizing depression early is very important for proper intervention. So how are these skills with our people? So these are two of our studies that we have done using the same scales, because these two scales, so there's another depression scale called the Beck's Depression Inventory, but it is not freely available, it's copyrighted. So you can't download it and use it by yourself. But these two are completely free, available in the public domain, and they assess the somatic nature of depression in our Sri Lankans. So for example, if you are talking to a depressed person in Melbourne, they frequently come and say, I feel depressed, doctor. But there is no word for depression in Sinhalese or Tamil. So in Sinhala, there's no word. There's a created word called Vishada, which is actually not a proper term. So our depression comes in somatic pain. It comes as frontal headache, backache, sometimes tiredness, and sometimes people come and say, I feel a burning sensation in my stomach. So that is the initiation of the presentation of depression that are frequently missed, which can be detected by these tools. So what is the role of a medical teacher in university student well-being? So burnout is highly prevalent, so we have to screen our students. So university can do it, students yourself can do it. It is very important to build the image of mental health and to be respectful of other specialties, especially psychiatrists. And to consider appointing mental health advisors full-time to coordinate follow-up students, and for that you need the help of the UGC, Universities Department of Psychiatry, and professional colleges like the Sri Lanka College of Psychiatrists and Sri Lanka College of Child Psychiatrists. The last component of my speech is that doctor, or a happy doctor that can make others happy. So what we talk about in this paper was that the importance of character interventions at school. So University of Jaffna, Medical Faculty Jaffna, can involve with other specialists to build the character of surrounding province and the environment and school to make better professionals for the future. So what is character? It's a collection of psychological characteristics such as being honest, being truthful, being happy, being respectful. The most important thing about character is that it is trainable. You can train a person to be happy. So that is the most important thing. But the issue is that even though Sri Lanka have a high percentage of people completing secondary education, so 80% of females, 80% of boys complete their secondary education, but only 20% enter a structured tertiary education. So you are the lucky ones. Because of that, there's lack of opportunities for character interventions for a majority of the population. So that is why at University of Kelaniya, we are trying hard, and we have already developed the material for a character intervention program solely based on web for school students. So in our project called the Leadership, Personal Growth and Social Responsibility, we are developing web-based modules to change the character strengths in school students so they will be happier and they will are more able to cope with stress when they are bigger. So in the initial phase, it is only in Sinhalese, but we have agreed with the Ministry of Education, in the future, everything will be developed in Tamil and it will be freely available for all the students in Sri Lanka. And I have to be thankful to University of Toronto for helping to find funds for this massive project. So it has 10 modules targeting different characters. For one module is targeted as emotional intelligence. So you all have high cognitive intelligence, what we call IQ, but sometimes you may not have a high emotional intelligence. That is to recognize how you feel inside, how a person in front of you feel, and react appropriately. So that is what we are attempting, and we are running clinical trials to prove that it will be effective for the future. So these are our studies that I highlighted here. And I would like to thank Professor Kumarendran for inviting me, and I would like to thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for making a great impact on us regarding the psychological well-being in the university. I kindly request you to accept the souvenir as a reminder of thankfulness. To give away the memento, I would like to invite Professor S. Sri Satkunaraja, Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for the distribution of the proceedings of Undergraduate Research Symposium 2021. Will take place now, and I kindly call upon the editors, Dr. Mrs. Madangi Suryakantan, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Medicine, University of Jaffna, and Dr. R. Karnaidas, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Allied Health Science, University of Jaffna, on stage. The proceedings will be received by Professor S. Satkunaraja, Vice Chancellor, Faculty of Medicine, University of Jaffna.
Thank you, sir. To wrap up this session, I kindly call upon Mr. S. Dwarakan, Secretary, URS 2021, with his vote of thanks to the podium.
Good morning to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, and AHS, Keynote Speaker, Chairperson, member of Organizing Committee of URS 2021, department heads, professor, lecturers, non-academics, supporting staffs, and my dear students. First of all, it is an honor to have been asked to offer a vote of thanks on the occasion of URS 2021. On behalf of Organizing Committee, I am very gratitude to all the speakers for sharing their graceful words with us in today's inauguration ceremony of URS 2021. It has been our pleasure to host all the participants of the URS 2021. The participants were very enthusiastic, and I am thankful for them coming here to attend the symposium. I would like to thank to the Honorable Vice Chancellor because of his imminent continuous support to encourage and develop research culture among academics and students. I would like to thank to Dean Medicine and Dean AHS for their pledged support to conduct this symposium and providing required facilities and human resources. Also, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Keynote Speaker, Professor SSP Varnakulasuriya, Dean Faculty of Nursing, University of Colombo, and Dr. Muru Sandradasa, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Medicine, Ragama, who have come from long distance for making an excellent speech and making this seminar very meaningful and interesting. I especially thank the member of the Organizing Committee of URS 2021, who are the backbone of the event, and for their teamwork. This is my gratitude to express my thanks to Chairperson URS 2021. I must mention our profound sense of appreciation for sharing with us some of the best management practices. We are all inspired by your highly lively words. Thank you very much, Chairperson of URS 2021. It is my gratitude to express thanks to librarians for their support in the symposium. Also, I would like to express my thanks to administrative staffs, registrar for their contribution in conducting symposium. I have to thank to non-academics, supporting staffs, demonstrators from Faculty of Medicine and AHS for their valuable services to successfully conducting this event. Also, I thank to my dear students from Medicine and AHS for their contribution in the URS 2021, and also to the presenter who present their research work in the symposium. I have to thankful to Vice Chancellor Media for their support to telecast live program of this event. I want to state that we are grateful to all speakers here over the stage. We thank you for being with us this time. It has been great pleasure. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, we'll be winding up for tea break. Our guests are requested to have your refreshments in our faculty boardroom. Those who are allocated for Hoover Auditorium can get your refreshments at the front lobby. And those students who are allocated for lecture halls 1 and 2 are requested to go to the venues. Your refreshments will be served in the lecture hall itself. Thank you and glad tidings.
நீங்களும் கொஞ்சம் green வைக்கணும் இந்த auditorium.